Rob, after 2 mornings of waking up and feeling utterly deflated, thank goodness today, we feel a bit better about ourselves and about England. Did you see that fight back coming?
I'd like to. I mean, it is the type of place where the pitch is the best it is to bat on. And Joe Root is one of our greatest ever cricketers. We just thought with everything that's happened that England were going to struggle. All the momentum was with Australia. But Malan and Root in particular, I mean, our captain, he is such a good player. And this is the last frontier for him. And the fact that he's now, 80-odd not out, a couple away from his highest score in Australia, this just sends him into that completely elite level with the Pontings and the Laras and all that lot, if he can just do it in this series. And he started well today. Yeah,
more runs from him in this calendar year than any other Englishman. And that partnership with Dawid Malan would have given the whole squad, wouldn't it, a huge lift, a bit of confidence and a bit of belief going forward, not just in this test match, but for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and that's absolutely spot on, because, I mean, I've been out there, and in 2002-03, we got hammered in the first test, and then you start to think, you know what, we can never beat these guys. And then all of a sudden, an innings like this or a partnership like this these two have had, that just goes right through that dressing room, whereas they can score runs against this. Because what happens in Australia, all the talk becomes about how good Pattinson is, how good Stark is, how good their bowling attack is, how good Lyon is compared to our spinner. It's like, no, don't worry about all of that. You can score runs against it. Just show everyone you can. And they've done that in a positive way.
And what do you make of the pitch? You touched on it just briefly. Has it become easier to bat on, or England just batting better in the second innings, having played a bit of cricket, which has been in short supply out there so far, hasn't it?
No, look, make no mistake. I mean, that pitch was at its hardest to bat on that first day. Joe Root still would be in a better position had they won the toss and had a bowl first, because now it's just a great pitch to bat on. This will be the type of pitch now that English batters will dream of batting on in England. They never get to bat on pitches as good as this. This is proper cricket. Normally, you just put the ball on a good length and it does something in England. So this now is what I grew up watching Test cricket like, where it's a good pitch, there's something in it for the bowlers, but it looks an absolute belter for the batsmen. You can play your shots on. There's a bit of pace in it. You know, that's so rare in our game in England at the moment. It must be a joy for them to bat on.
Maybe the only slight negative today, Rob, would be the performance of England's openers, Burns and Hamid. They didn't manage to make really significant scores. I mean, how much does that concern you?
Not so much, really, because I think someone's always going to miss out, and that's the nature of being an opening batsman. You end up, you know, you have it at its toughest against the new ball. Hamid looked pretty good. Burns has not got any runs in this game so far. Has had a pretty average match. So it doesn't concern me at the minute because of the way that these two have gone on and played.
And just tell us, if you can, take us into the mood of the Australian dressing room 24 hours on. How different might that be today?
Yeah, they'll be knackered, I think, as much as anything. And you come off after a day like that and you're just happy to be off the field. But they will be thinking, and Langer will be drumming into them, the fact there's a new ball due in 5-6 overs, can't remember exactly when it is. And that is their next window of opportunity. And if they get that right, they'll feel they're still in the box seat in this game.
Yeah, and Rob, just finally, and it's almost impossible to predict, isn't it? You never quite know what you're going to get when you wake up in the morning and look down and see what that score is. What do you think might happen tomorrow? Come on, stay positive for us.
Well, if you want me to be positive, I mean, England will get a big score and they'll end up bowling them out. I mean, the reality is that Australia are still favourites, but England have got themselves back in this game. And you almost feel back in the series, because had they been blown away in this game, it might have been tough for them to come back.